right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tragedy in rural Missouri.
When it's young kids, it's really hurt.
Tonight, new information on a house fire that killed a mother and her 2 daughters. Bowling alley brawl. Fists thrown, people trampled, and shots fired. Tonight, the search in the Metro East for 2 gunmen. Plus, a push tonight to end a cannabis confusion in Missouri. The race against the clock for dispensaries and suppliers to keep edibles out of the wrong hands. We start tonight in a weather alert. Storms are moving our way, bringing the chance of heavy rain, winds, lightning, and hail overnight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Mike Bush has the night off. Since these storms are moving in while you will be sleeping, we want you to stay alert. So let's get straight to meteorologist Jim Castillo, who is tracking it all in the Weather First forecast. Jim.
Yeah, hi, Kelly. Just had that NOAA weather radio ready just in case one of these cells does go severe. Again, not expecting widespread severe weather, but an isolated cell with maybe some hail or high wind is possible. And I'll show you the radar coming up. It is 71 degrees. It's warm. It's breezy. South wind at 11 miles an hour. And boy, that dew point's way up there. We have enough moisture to work with. See the yellow polygon to the southwest of Rolla. That is a severe cell. And again, these have been isolated. You see the lightning south of really the Perry County, Missouri area, and then more cells even about Mexico, Missouri. I'll zoom in a little bit closer down south. So southern Phelps County, you're probably hearing a little bit of that thunder. We'll watch those cells. Again, more likely you'll see a little bit of hail out of those. And then Marquand, also south of Perryville. And then you go a little further north. Look at the brand new development just east of St. Louis in eastern Madison County, right along Interstate 70 to Bond County and Greenville, Illinois. And then a lot of lightning and thunder around Mexico, Missouri. That's just west of Pike County. So some of these are just beginning to develop, and we are expecting more widespread showers and storms. About 100% chance that all of us will at least hear some thunder, see some lightning, and get some heavy rain, and an outside chance of some of these becoming severe. Again, hail the main threat with this. I'll time it out and check the radar again and main weather coming up in just a few minutes.
And you can get the latest Weather Force forecast anytime. Text the word weather to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it straight to your phone. Developing tonight, firefighters are battling a large brush fire in St. Clair County. The fire broke out just before 5 in a wooded area near Forest Boulevard and Brinson Drive. That's just east of Washington Park. People are asked to avoid the area. And we have an update on a large brush fire that burned last night in Fenton. Tonight, 2 firefighters who were injured are out of the hospital. Several people who were forced to evacuate off Saline Road are now back in their homes. No word on a cause. Tonight, we're learning more about a deadly house fire in Phelps County that claimed the lives of a mother and her 2 daughters. A 10-year-old boy was able to escape the flames. The fire broke out Saturday night on County Road 2120. That's just north of Rolla. New tonight, 5 on your side's Andy Krall spoke with the coroner who calls this investigation the worst of his career.
When it's young kids, it's really hurt.
A devastating fire in Phelps County. Dispatchers getting a call at about 10:45 Saturday night. This wood structure home with bricks on the outside destroyed. As you can still see Monday, the metal roof scorched and crumbled from the heat. Firefighters on the scene told Phelps County Coroner Ernie Coverdell the fire was so intense it wasn't safe for fire personnel to go inside to get to the mother and 2 daughters in the home. An off-duty Phelps County deputy who lives nearby immediately responded and saw a young boy standing outside what's left of the blazing structure. He stayed with the boy until paramedics arrived here while his family was trapped inside.
Mom may have got him out of there, which would be an amazing thing. And I would believe that Mom would try to get the kids out. I think it just happened so quick and went up so quick that she could only get him out. Probably went back in to try to get the other 2 and just couldn't make it.
36-year-old Jessica Lynn Sager and her 2 daughters, 14-year-old Cadence and 9-year-old Savannah, were killed. It took fire crews 6 to 7 hours to find all 3 victims, killed from what Coverdell shares was almost inescapable smoke inhalation. Their father not home at the time. Coverdell says he works in oil fields and can be away from home for weeks at a time. When we spoke with the coroner, he was on his way to meet with that devastated dad.
He has lost everything. Not only his family, but he's lost his home and everything they had. I mean, it's gone.
Crews still investigating how the fire started. Reporting in Phelps County, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
And if you would like to donate to the Surviving Son and Father's GoFundMe page, we posted a link in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Tomorrow, opening statements will begin in a high-profile trial in St. Louis City. Jury selection wrapped up late this afternoon in the Daniel Riley trial. It's made up of 7 women, 5 men. Riley is accused of causing a downtown crash last year that caused Tennessee teenager Janae Edmondson to lose both of her legs. Her father is expected to be the first to be called to the stand. Janae will also testify during the trial. 5 on Your Side's Christine Byers will be in the courtroom this week. Look for her reports on air and on KSDK.com. 3 men accused of beating and holding a woman captive at a St. Louis church were also in court today. 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend has followed the case for the past week and has the latest.
These are the mugshots of the suspects now accused of holding a young woman captive at Mount of Olives Ministry. Grace Capendo, his brother Munga Fungamali, and Pasi Harry are each charged with kidnapping and assault. Monday, the handcuffed suspects went to court.
I have a hard time believing that this case is still under investigation.
The woman told police last month the men kidnapped, beat, and held her against her will in a room at the South St. Louis church. Prosecutors say they have lots of evidence, including police body cam video that shows the woman identified the suspects as the men who attacked her the night a fasting service was underway at the church.
It is now my understanding that police did not go into the church and find this woman being held captive. Somehow she escaped. Ran to a neighbor's house, and the neighbors called police.
The woman told police she was bound with ropes, only given water, and had to use a bucket as a toilet. She's now in protective custody at a hospital. Defense attorney Chris Combs represents Grace Capendo. He calls it a case of mistaken identity.
I've spoken to a ton of people that have not been contacted by law enforcement that are giving me a name of who did this, that also lived in the church. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
In court today, an assistant circuit attorney called the jailed suspects a threat to the victim and the community. In the end, all 3 men were denied bond.
I cannot fathom that they are guilty.
Arlie Singleton is the pastor of Friendship Assembly of God. He sent a letter to a judge supporting suspect Grace Capendo.
I want the truth to come out, and I want whatever is wrong to be made right. That is justice.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
The woman's mother, who also supports the 3 suspects, was in court today. Caught on camera, chaos inside a popular bowling alley in the Metro East, showing a large fight that broke out last night. The violence led to 2 innocent bystanders being shot. Tonight, police are still searching for the 2 people who fired those shots. This all happened around 10 o'clock last night at St. Clair Bowl. The 2 bystanders suffered non-life-threatening injuries to their legs. Tonight, Missouri marijuana suppliers and dispensaries are in the process of making some big changes to packaging specifically for the edibles they make and carry. This comes after an extra effort on the state's part to keep gummies out of the hands of kids. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski talked with people in the industry about this major effort. Laura?
Kelly, suppliers and dispensaries say implementing these changes has been somewhat difficult and very time-consuming.
According to data released last year, there was a big increase in the number of kids exposed to edible cannabis like gummies. In 2017, there were only 207 cases across the country, but in 2021, it went up to more than 3,000.
No one in this industry wants these products to be in the hands of children. Just like alcohol, it's the same difference.
To combat the issue in Missouri, regulators made updates to the packaging rules. To name a few, the packages can only be one color, they can have up to 2 logos of different colors, flavors, and the word marijuana must be prominently printed on the outside. Then the suppliers have to get it approved by the Missouri Department of Health. Local supplier Camp Cannabis's compliance director says that approval process can take as long as 2 months.
It has been extremely challenging to deal with the evolution of these rules and trying to anticipate ordering packaging, especially when the majority of the industry gets much of their packaging from China. And then you have this Chinese New Year period where essentially the factories are shutting down for several weeks or a month at a time.
On the dispensary side, they now have to work on phasing out non-compliant products. Mint Cannabis's COO says it's something they've already been working on, and it's why you might see more discounts soon.
We ourselves have been ordering a little less of the ones that aren't ready, ordering a little bit more of the ones that are ready, trying to get rid of anything that's not going to be compliant after the date.
Attorney Dan Viets with Missouri NORML says these changes could be challenged in court because of rules spelled out in the Constitution, and some could argue packaging is a form of advertising.
The Constitution requires that restrictions on advertising for cannabis products be no more restrictive than the regulations and rules that apply to alcohol products. And it seems to me that those go far beyond that standard.
The current deadlines are one of the biggest challenges. Suppliers can't ship out any products with non-compliant packaging after May 1st, and dispensaries have until July 1st to sell off those non-compliant products. There is an extension coming, but those dates haven't been released yet, Kelly.
Thank you, Laura. Senior homeowners in St. Charles County and St. Louis City can now apply for a property tax freeze. Seniors 62 years and older are eligible if their property is worth less than $500,000. Applications are available online, in person, or by mail. We have all the info you need to know to apply in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. Tonight, new contamination concerns are coming to the surface in North St. Louis County.
If I was living on top of radioactive waste, or any contamination for that matter, I would want to know.
The testing underway for radioactive waste buried deep below homes. It can give you power in a pinch. But generators don't do you much good if they don't start. Tonight, we're helping you prepare your home for severe weather season.
And tonight we're watching the radar for the possibility of some isolated severe cells. Nothing severe yet, but a brand new thunderstorm popping up around Gasconade County and near Herman with lightning, thunder, and maybe some small hail. Much more on our forecast coming up.
Tonight, new contamination concerns in North St. Louis County over nuclear waste dumped in the area decades ago. 5 on Your Side has learned the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is testing for possible contamination deep underneath homes in Florissant. The Army Corps is testing an old creek buried under 6 homes north of Duchesne Park in Florissant. The advocacy group Just Moms STL says it just learned about this in the past few days.
I get that there's a level of privacy, but you don't have to disclose where those homes are, but you can at least let the rest of the community know because they've been asking.
The Army Corps of Engineers says they're trying to respect the affected homeowners' privacy, but understands the public's right to know. We are told remediation is expected to start sometime this year. A founding member of Just Moms STL will be at President Biden's State of the Union address Thursday. Dawn Chapman will be Senator Josh Hawley's guest. She's helped him lobby for the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act. Senator Hawley has secured a standalone vote this week to get it reauthorized. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, the largest delegate grab in the presidential primary season. Voters in 15 states will head to the polls. Former President Trump is expected to dominate against his Republican rival Nikki Haley, but will be unable to win enough delegates to secure the nomination. On the Democratic side, President Biden is also expecting a Super Tuesday sweep. President Trump swept the Missouri caucus this weekend, and now we know he will be on the ballot for the Illinois primary on March 19th. In a unanimous decision, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled states cannot bar the former president from the ballot. The argument made it to the high court after Colorado's Supreme Court ruled he was ineligible, claiming he led an insurrection on January 6th. A Chicago judge made a similar ruling, which is now overturned.
You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but A court shouldn't be doing that.
We want him on the ballot, frankly, because he's a detriment to Republicans across the United States.
Next month, the High Court is set to hear arguments in a separate case over former President Trump's claims that he's immune from prosecution for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election because he was acting as president. It's severe weather preparedness week. As we get closer to spring, it's important to remember severe weather can occur at a moment's notice and to have a plan in place to take cover. Both Missouri and Illinois will hold statewide tornado drills Wednesday at 11 a.m. Severe weather can lead to power outages, and that has many homeowners turning to portable generators. Tonight, Consumer Reports is reminding us the best generator is one that works when you need it. Here's Mike Bush.
Rain, flooding, snow, ice, and power outages. A portable generator can help power the essentials in your home, but only if it starts.
Generators can go months or even years without being used, but keep in mind the fuel in them can go bad over time. That can clog the engine's carburetor or fuel lines, and it may not start when you actually need it.
Consumer Reports' Paul Hope generated some easy DIY generator tips. Keep the generator's fuel tank empty to prevent clogged fuel lines. You'll want to have at least 10 gallons of fresh gasoline on hand in a safety container, and
always add a fuel stabilizer to your stored gas to help it last as long as possible.
Store your generator in a clean, dry, and ventilated spot that you can access easily, but is not attached to the house.
Storing a generator in your home or too close to it is dangerous because not only can vapors escape from gasoline, but gasoline is flammable and that can start a fire.
And if you deal with power outages often, consider a transfer switch. An electrician installs it alongside your main circuit breaker, making it a safe and easy way to use your portable generator.
A transfer switch lets you power whole circuits on your home's panel without running individual extension cords to each appliance. They also let you power things that may not have a plug, like a furnace or a water heater.
In fact, Paul had something similar called an interlock device installed in his own house and says it makes facing a power outage a little less stressful. For Consumer Reports, Mike Bush, 5 on your side.
Never run a generator in an enclosed space or indoors, and always place it at least 20 feet from the house with the engine exhaust directed away from windows and doors. A chance of overnight storms has us in a weather alert tonight. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo again with the Weather First forecast. We were talking about severe weather preparedness week, and you were saying always have a plan.
Yes, that is so Monday's lesson is always have a plan and know what you would do if the lights went out. You know, make sure you have fresh batteries in the flashlights. Make sure you have flashlights near the bed. And we're not expecting tornadoes tonight, which is great, but maybe some hail and high wind in some of these storms that are out here, developing even around Mexico, Missouri. North of there, it's been very loud. And then you see a brand new cell developing here, northern Gasconade County, and pushing into Warren County and about to cross Interstate 70. And then you get into Illinois, east of St. Louis, eastern portions of Madison County, Illinois. Here's Bond County, and again approaching Greenville. Just a little bit of lightning and thunder, nothing severe, maybe some gusty wind with that. And watching these cells down here, just to the east of Madison County, Missouri. And then there's a brand new polygon popping up here. That is a severe cell with some definitely some hail in that. And so we're watching, this is Phelps County here, and that cell there also looks pretty strong with a lot of lightning and thunder. So lots of us, or probably many of us, will hear that, the thunder and lightning, or see the lightning, hear the thunder. And we're watching here around northern portions of Gasconade County. So that's the cell we're keeping our eyes on right now. Widen out the shot, and I wanted to enhance the cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. Some are now popping up again, east of St. Louis, west of St. Louis, north of St. Louis, and south of St. Louis. So we do expect some widespread showers and storms tonight. Here's the future cast. As the front approaches, it creates that lift that you need to get those showers and storms really popping up in here. And again, only expecting isolated severe cells, but we'll watch this through the wee hours of the morning, and then it gets out of here tomorrow morning. What was our high today? 77, 2 degrees away from that record of 79. And the average high is 52, 63 for that low, excuse me, average low is 33, and that 63 is the warmest March 4th we've ever had in St. Louis history. I have the camera now. See the lightning? There it is. That's live west of St. Louis. This is 100 above the park looking west, so we're beginning to see lightning now in the distance. So definitely some lightning and thunder for tonight and showers. It's still 71 here, but behind that front, Kirksville and Kansas City have dropped into the 40s, so it's really chilly. Tomorrow about 58 in the afternoon, our midnight high temperature of 64. And here's a 10-day forecast showing temperatures in the 60s. We'll see a dry day, probably late Tuesday and into Wednesday, a dry day. And then Thursday, later in the day, another chance of rain also for Saturday. And then clocks go forward 1 hour this weekend and highs only in the 50s.
I can't believe it's still 71.
It's still 71
in St. Louis
at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. All right. Thanks, Jim. Sports is next.
Jordan Binnington was never better than he was tonight. Drama with the Cardinals pitching staff. And man, has this been a bad winter for St. Louis sports. We will depress you when we come back.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
Every once in a while, we should pause and realize that some athletes are just special. We saw one tonight in Philadelphia. His name is Jordan Binnington. Consider this. The Flyers had 41 shots on goal. The Blues had 25. The Blues won. Figure it out. Binner won the game, plain and simple. Second period, traffic in front, and Binnington stops 1 and 2 shots. 3 minutes later, Kevin Hayes, who had not scored a goal in 19 games, gets on the breakaway against his former team, and we are tied at 1. Now, dying moments, overtime. Binner stones the breakaway. 40 saves tonight. He came up big in the shootout also. And Pavel Buchnevich will win it right here. Blues escape with a 2-1 victory.
Taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Wood Basement Systems.
So it could mean absolutely nothing, because in 24 days, Sonny Gray could be in Dodger Stadium on opening day and striking out Shohei Ohtani. It could also loom large, because if Gray is injured, there's no plan B for an A pitcher. You gave him $75 million to be your number one. Let's go to Jupiter and see what happened today against the Nationals. He threw 19 pitches into the second inning, but on pitch 20, you can see him grab at the back of his leg. He was done at that point and would get an MRI. No further word. He didn't talk after the game either. The Cardinals were blanked on 6 hits, and this would be the game's only run, a sac fly off JoJo Romero. The Nationals win it 1-0. But back to Gray. Catcher Wilson Contreras explains what happened when the pitcher called him out to the mound.
I mean, could you tell how he was bothered?
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I just think we have to be very cautious at this time and not pushing anything or rush anything.
Tomorrow morning, when that clubhouse opens at 7 a.m. Central Time, there will be more than a few people interested to hear what Sonny Gray has to say with regard to his tweaked hamstring. They have said it was just a mild strain. They were going to run some more tests, but we'll find out all together tomorrow at 7 a.m. when the Cardinal clubhouse opens in Jupiter.
What a district championship game tonight at Clayton. Burroughs against Cardinal Ritter. Here's one of the great shooters in town, Allie Turner, doing what she does best, draining threes. This Hannah Wallace has the longest ponytail ever and one of the smoothest finger rolls too. What a player she is. But Burroughs too much. Mariah Douglas with the finish in a 51-43 Bombers victory. So I can't remember a more depressing winter in St. Louis, and it has nothing to do with the weather. To paraphrase James Carville, it's the sports, stupid. The Mizzou basketball Tigers have not won a game in 2024. The basketball Billikens likely will finish with 20 losses. The Blues' playoff chances are not good. And the Cardinals, well, after a last-place season, this Sonny Gray news is not uplifting at all. We need something. Maybe it's City SC or Illinois basketball. City could win the MLS, and Illinois could make the Final Four. We just need a pick-me-up in St. Louis sports. Sorry to depress everybody, But that's frankly speaking for tonight. We'll take a break and we'll be right back after this.
Well, it's warm enough, the weather feels like it. Can you believe the Cardinals home opener is a month from today? Just hours ago, the team announced 11 additional theme nights to the schedule. And Cards will host its first ever Celebrate Disability Night, June 27th, and the inaugural Pickleball Nights. Monique will love that, Frank.
Throwing out the first ball.
It will be held August 26th. Let's check in with Jim again. We have storms popping.
Yeah, we sure do. And only isolated, stronger cells, nothing severe yet. Maybe an isolated severe cell. Hail the biggest threat tonight. And of course, the lightning, the thunder, and the downpours. And we're seeing that west of Wentzville now, mainly in Warren County. And then we'll zoom in also Bond County, Illinois, west of Greenville, some thunder and lightning, Litchfield, and then south into Perry County. That big batch is moving your way. So we'll keep you posted throughout the night.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon is next. And be sure to start your day with the Today in St. Louis crew. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.